r/AskReddit. What happened in this decade that everyone forgot? How quickly things go from civilization to strife. Ukraine co-hosted the Euro 2012, receiving millions of visitors, showing off new stadia and infrastructure. Less than 2 years later it was all chaos, and they even got parts of their territory annexed. Syria used to be one of the safest, most cosmopolitan countries in the Middle East. Stuff can fall apart really fast in the right circumstances. Donetsk International Airport was extensively renovated between 2011 and 2012 for Euro 2012, including the construction of a new terminal. It was subsequently completely destroyed during fighting between rebel and government forces. Vuvuzelas had a very brief and entirely too long moment of fame. It should be duck calls next. Stealth vuvuzelas. The whole Ashley Madison fiasco, where people were exposed for cheating on their spouse, it was a pretty big deal. Mofos were scrambling. The space shuttles all retired in 2011. After that, there's only been 2 manned space launches from the USA, and it was by Virgin Galactic. Early next year, the dawn of a new era in manned spaceflight begins. In sillier space happenings, some guy was going to launch himself on a rocket to prove the Earth was flat, then backed out at the last minute. Speaking of space, that dude who jumped off a rocket in the stratosphere back in 2012. Lol, one dude launched himself 1,875 feet. 1,875 feet up and couldn't see the curvature of the Earth. Guess the Earth must be flat lol. https www.forbes.com/site/2018/03/27/flat-earth-finally-blast-off-in-home-made-row. CKET to prove Earth is flat. Number 4 RR5B99B6F. Arab Spring. Bad times, friend ahead. Maybe no computer, maybe no home. I will go away, but we are 2 of soul. I will return. Last online, 615 days ago. Damn, that was this decade. It feels like 15 to 20 years ago. Muammar al-Gaddafi, leader of Libya from 1977 to 2011, was hunted down and executed. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill and the massive economic impact it had on people living nearby. When I read the op, I thought, Deepwater horrors, oh, that couldn't have happened this decade, oof. I will never forget that. I was 10 when that happened, and where I live we have a special news program for kids. The teachers would put on the program during lunch break, and for months they talked about it and would show videos of people almost getting crushed by the ceiling falling down, people getting dragged away in the water after the tsunami, pictures of Fukushima. Remember when U2 downloaded their new album onto everyone's iTunes account? Like, what was the point of that? Nobody was gonna buy it after that since they already had it, and I don't think anyone became a U2 fan because of it. The most Googled question became, how do I get the U2 album off my phone? Quote, like, if they had just offered it free, people would have loved it. People don't say no to free shit often. It was the fact that they forced it onto your account that really got everyone pissed off. I remember seeing a video of kids being lowered into the sewers through a manhole because it was the closest thing to a bomb shelter. People were truly panicking. On October 2012, Felix Baumgartner flew approximately 39 kilometers into the stratosphere, then jumped and parachuted safely to Earth as part of the Red Bull Stratos project. It always bummed me out that some guy broke that record the following year. Was just talking to my wife about this because of the bullying episode of South Park, and she doesn't remember this at all. The Panama Papers still gets some mentions, but their sequel of sorts, the Paradise Papers, is largely forgotten. They even began on Reddit. Part of the issue was people got caught up in the people and not the laws. Like, I don't believe Emma Watson is some evil financial criminal. I think she hired someone to handle her money, and her name being on the list shouldn't be used to condemn her. All the media got wrapped up in the who and not the how. The death of Club Penguin. May we never forget. Where were you when Club Penguin died? I was at house eating Dorito when phone ring. Club Penguin is kill. No. Weren't there theories that it was a publicity stunt because the first It movie had just been announced? No one talks about MH370 anymore, the largest airline disappearance ever, and still hasn't been solved, going on almost 6 years. Listen to the What Really Happened podcast. They just did a 2-part on this for their season end, and it's not really that nobody is talking about it, it's that all possibilities have been exhausted, and until there's a new clue you can't really just go on spending money investigating it for nothing. People still talk about it, but yeah, it's not news anymore, so you don't hear about it as much. It's not exactly an exciting mystery though, is it? An airplane crashed in the ocean. Yeah, it would be good to figure out why it crashed. But ultimately, it's not like the passengers might be living like an isolated tribe somewhere on a deserted island, or like they might have been abducted by aliens. We have found loose debris from the airplane along various shores. We know everyone's dead and the airplane is scattered along the ocean bottom, monsieur. From a technical standpoint, it would be very nice to retrieve the flight recorder to prevent future crashes. However, people just can't get a hard-on for a likely technical malfunction that brought down an airplane. The LV mass shooting never established a motive for the largest mass shooting in US history, in a casino with untold cameras around. I think the casinos actively dissuade mentions of it to keep the tourists coming in. I live in LV. Tourists here seem to have completely forgotten about it. I would speculate that this may be intentional. Keeping mass shootings out of the media may deter future shooters because they lose the allure of fame for shooters. When everyone thought the world was going to end in 2012, edit. Geez, sorry I said everyone. Like a lot of PPL where I lived was spooked at it. Sorry I didn't do a survey on PPL who thought it would happen. And it did, and many of us have been shifted onto a new timeline. The man who helped make the challenge go viral, Pete Freights, passed away from health complications earlier this month. As far as I have seen, none of the crazy doomsday things have happened yet. That's probably why it was forgotten. It only happened a year or 2 ago. Hell, even I've forgotten. But I never hear about the Manchester concert bombing anymore. Well, life moved on really. I've been to 2 concerts since, but always kinda think about it whenever I'm there. That picture of the white and gold dress that many people thought was blue and black. The dress was actually blue and black though. Wendy's stole an entire nugget from us, and no one seems to care. I'm still pissed off that a Snickers king size asterisk is just 2 larger mini Snickers in the same wrapper. Shrinkflation is real sad face. Still though, 6 nugs for under $2 is still pretty good. Sweet Victory never played at the Super Bowl. I'm trying to play Game of War, but this one player keeps kicking my ass. Occupy Wall Street, and today Wall Street is stronger, higher than ever. Guess it didn't work, lol. I think the first wave of the Occupy movement had good intentions, made sense, and presented themselves as worthy of being listened to. As time went on though, you had a lot of bandwagon losers who didn't understand the first wave, and basically undermined the movement with their other crazy side bullshit and trashy behavior. We actively forgot about this on purpose. I could have sworn that this fad happened in like 2008. ITT. Way too many things from the last 3 years. Germany made its final reparation payment for World War I this decade. Swine flu was a thing. Hell, Inception came out in 2010. Also every 8th post is the Panama Papers, while simultaneously bemoaning everyone for not remembering the Panama Papers. The Panama Papers exposing 11.5 million documents detailing 214,000 offshore entities evading an almost unfathomable amount of taxes. Despacito, it blew up REEEEAAALY fast and then poof, it's gone. It was a party song, which died really fast. It only blew up because, wouldn't you know, Latin pop music is really huge globally. It was around for like a year first. I remember it was a hit, and the Justin Bieber heard it, joined it, and it was a hit again. And everyone knows about it, and there's not a hell of a lot we can do about it. Every time I think about it, it breaks my heart. Raid Area 51, they can't stop all of us. The Naruto run. The clowns. They went around killing people in 2016 and literally the only thing we did was dab, flip water bottles, and play with fidget spinners. Apparently the thing that happened this decade that everyone forgot about was how this topic was posted a couple days ago.